Hey there, it's Lacy J here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, the latter of which we'll reply to on our newly revamped weekly pre-shows, where we have as many fun segments as we do on the audio pod. There are current events with Christy, corrections and observations with Ben, and as always, questions with Derek. Plus, I have new fun facts and tell a terrible fucking joke every single week. Please join us, and please consider rating and reviewing us on your favorite app or recommending us to a friend who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s, Season 3, Episode 12. It's called Par Avion. It is a Claire episode. It's a Ben episode. But first, how's everybody doing?
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Great.
Woo! All right. Benjamin, before you lay down a little Claire, could you remind us where the power rankings ended after Episode 11?
Yes. We had Sawyer in first place with 71. We still got sort of a horse race between him and Juliet. Juliet is in second place.
It's great. I love it. I love that we have new people in the top for season 3. It's great.
With Juliet in second at 61 points and Hurley holding up third place with 50 points. The bottom of the barrel should be no surprise. We've got Dead Pants Danny with negative 90 points. Paolo Poopstick, or was it Poopstick Paolo? I can't remember.
Poopstick Paolo?
That was a serious question. I actually can't remember. What did we settle on Poopstick Paolo or Paolo
Poop Pants
Poopstick?
or I don't
No,
remember.
he had that poop stick with the Dharma Initiative.
Yeah, I think it was
paper.
Poopstick
Oh, yeah.
Paolo. I think that's what it is.
Poopstick.
Poopstick. I just didn't change it in the spreadsheet because last time I changed Danny's name, I fucked up the whole sheet, so I just left it.
Yeah, because you got to reselect everything.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go back and forth between Paolo Poopstick and Poopstick Paolo. They're both
That's fine.
alliterative and very fun to say. So
Like Boone and Deuce.
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
And then we've got good old Charles Widmore holding up third place with negative 29 points.
Nice. And I see in the top we've got like Desmond and Kate aren't that far behind from
true.
these top 3. It's a pretty good race for season 3, unlike season 2 when Mr. Echo ran away with it after like 4 episodes and that was it.
Yeah, nobody could catch up.
No.
Yeah. I think it was the snakeskin vest or whatever. We were like, okay, yeah, he's the coolest dude ever.
The like trench coat.
Yeah, whatever that was. That
And
was
when
like,
he slit the two guys' throat with
Yeah.
one swipe of his knife,
Yeah.
that was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Aw, now I'm missing Mr. Echo.
see, that's clothing that I look at and I'm like, anyone who could pull that shit off, good on them. I could never wear that. Like, I could wear that, but I'd look like a fucking douchebag.
All right. Ben, it's your turn with Claire.
Oh, boy. I love Claire. She's my favorite.
All right, here we go.
So, yeah, episode 12, Par Avion. The episode opens with Claire's eye. Her hair is black and her forehead is bleeding, and there are little bits of glass in her hair. They kind of pan out, and she's in the driver's seat of a car that's just been in an accident, and there's a giant hole in the windshield, and you could see a woman that's lying on the ground in front of the car. Claire tries to get out, but the doors are stuck. She can't, so she climbs through the hole in the windshield and then scampers down. Scamper, I guess. So you'd say
Scamper.
yeah, she sort of. Hey, she's so small. Everything she does is scampering to me.
I see. Okay.
So she scampers down to the pavement, and she starts to cry, "Mom, mom, mom." I expected her to say "nar" somewhere in there, but she didn't.
Say what?
Nar. Oh, nar.
Nar?
That's how Australian people say no. They always say nar.
I didn't realize that.
Okay. Now that you say it in context, okay.
Yeah, there was
But
nary
kiddos, let this be a
nar.
lesson to you. Wear your seatbelt so that you don't go
obviously-
flying through a windshield.
Obviously, your mother was not wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah,
Are there a lot
yeah.
of kiddos that
I don't
listening to this? Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
And this is a very, sad scene. Her mom is unconscious and she's screaming and she's crying. But the only thing that I can think is Goth Claire looks stupid.
No. Yeah.
What is with like? Come on, she's in all black and the black hair.
I think she looks pretty with the black hair.
Yeah.
It makes her eyes really pop.
I don't. Okay, that's fine. I'll accept that. But just the way that they try to portray, like, she's in a dark period, therefore she only wears black and dyes her hair black, and like, it's just such a silly trope, I guess.
Yeah,
But it wasn't a dark period
me.
when she was driving because she hadn't had the accident yet. And her mother
What was
fine.
that?
Well, you said so why you think that they have her with black hair and all that because it was a dark period?
Yes, I understand. Like, I think they were implying that she was in some sort of like dark place, which is what led to her causing this accident. Is sort of the way I always saw it.
She's in her rebellious phase, which they're going to portray as her being goth or whatever, or her basically living it at.
Because you can't be rebellious with blonde hair, obviously.
Yeah. On the island, the camera again focuses on Claire's eye. This time, waking up on the morning of day 80. Next to her is a fruit platter with a note that says, "Good day." When I first saw this, I thought it said G Day. I was like, why the fuck does it say G Day?
Like D-Day?
Yeah. I was like, is this like an Australian thing? They had like,
Like they're in Normandy?
Yeah, but they had Australian troops were at Normandy. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Australian troops have been pretty much everywhere with U.S. troops. I mean, they were in like Iraq with us, as in Afghanistan as well. They very quietly fight with us. Yeah.
When she looks at the crib, she sees that Aaron is missing, and yet she doesn't go screaming, "My baby!" I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, she doesn't immediately react with panic. Baby, oh no, my baby.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no. So Charlie walks in holding the baby and says, "Oh, look, Aaron, your mom has finally decided to wake up," and then hands the baby to Claire. Charlie tells her the only way he could ever get her to sleep was to take the kid. Claire then asks about the food, and he tells her that it's an appetizer for the picnic in her honor. She wonders what's gotten into Charlie.
You know what he does, though? He calls it an aperitif, and I always thought the word was aperitif. Is that just an American English pronunciation, or have I been saying it wrong the whole time? I wonder.
No, I've always known it to be aperitif.
Okay. So aperitif, maybe that's a British pronunciation of a French word.
It's the one that they use on G Day.
Like color with a U in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Got it.
Once again, she asks him what's gotten into him, and he replies, "I woke up this morning and I thought that it's time to stop feeling sorry for myself and seize the day. And I can't think of anyone I'd rather do some day seizing with than you. So what do you say?" Does day seizing, to me, that sounds like somebody who has like fainting sickness or something, right? Like somebody who's actually
like
seizing.
Epilepsy.
Yeah, epilepsy. Yeah. That's right.
Fainting sickness. I think that's something else.
Fainting sickness.
I think fainting sickness was when like a housewife ran out of laudanum or something like that.
Yeah. True.
As a little aside, I just looked up aperitif, and that is not a fucking aperitif. An aperitif is an alcoholic drink taken before a meal as an appetizer.
That's what I thought.
I thought so too.
Maybe it's more of a crudité.
That's vegetables.
No, I know that's a vegetable platter.
It's just an appetizer.
Yes, it's just a goddamn appetizer.
Okay. So an aperitif is liquor. Interesting.
I think after dinner it's like a digestive or something.
Yeah, digestive.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So you drink liquor to make you poop after dinner.
To help, digest your food. Just an excuse to drink.
Yeah.
All right, Benjamin, keep going.
So after saying, "Hey, let's do some day seizing," he says, "What do you say? Let's drop the cherub off with Auntie Sun and Uncle Jin, and you and I can go for a little stroll." She smiles, blushes, and says that she'd love to. Aww.
It's actually a really sweet scene.
Yeah.
It is sweet. It always makes me a little...
all the hell she's giving him.
Yeah, right.
I like how they're slowly bringing these two back together, and it's very sweet kind of courting, I guess you would say. Yeah.
In the jungle, around a campfire, are Saeed, Locke, Kate, Danielle, and Mikhail. Saeed points to the map and notes that from the position of the stream, and if the map is to scale, that the barracks should be about 2 miles away.
Oh, it's a Saeed quest.
Yeah, his last two have not been all that awesome. So let's hope this one's a little bit better.
Wait, what were the first one was out to the balloon, right? What was the last one?
The last one was when they were sailing around trying to find the
Went to the
others.
dock,
And they
yeah.
went to the
Right,
dock and had that launched that ill-fated assault or ambush that didn't work at all.
Right.
That
Where
ended
they
up
got
with
ambushed?
Sun with Jin trying to catch a boat while swimming. Like it was that
All right. Okay.
So Locke points out that it's an electrical wiring map and that it might not actually be accurate. And Saeed fires back, well, it's certainly not as infallible as the magical carvings on your stick.
He's sick of Locke's shit at this point.
Yeah.
But he's still following him. He's still doing whatever the hell Locke wants him to do. He's
true.
just being
Yep.
sarcastic about it.
But he's pissed off at Locke for blowing up the fucking communication station.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like sarcastic Saeed. I very much enjoy him that way. I like to enjoy him a few other ways, but I'll take sarcastic.
So Locke is a bit defensive, saying that the stick got them to the flame. So Saeed reminds him that he blew up the flame. And Locke says he may not have blown it up if they had warned him about the C4.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
he knew what he was doing. He's not a fucking idiot.
No, but when he gets caught, he has the best fucking line. We'll get there later. But yeah.
So Kate asks Mikhail if they're going the right way, and he confirms that they are. Then Locke asks again, like, why are we keeping him alive? And then Saeed says, what do you suggest? We shoot him like a dog? To which Locke replies, no, I like dogs.
This whole scene is fucking amazing. No,
Yeah,
I like dogs.
this is a good scene. This is one of the best
so
scenes that
great.
we've had of like from a side quest in a while.
Right.
Just this certainly, the infallible is your magical stick. That was just like that's very choice.
Yeah, the banter is good in this scene.
Yeah, so much.
Danielle also thinks that they should shoot Mikhail. She says there's no way they'll trade him back for Jack. And then Kate interjects that nobody's getting shot and tries to get the group moving.
I'm honestly surprised that he doesn't have like a cyanide pill in his tooth or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that was something that could have been written into that.
Yeah.
So back to the beach where Claire and Charlie are there. He's serving up the first course on his picnic, which is cereal and fresh fruit. Desmond more fruit. Yeah.
I mean, what else do they have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desmond
But
approaches
fruit as an appetizer and fruit as,
The main course.
Main
You
course.
should do
Yeah.
that. That's
She'll be shitting her
if you're Steve
pants later.
Jobs. Didn't Steve Jobs only eat fruit?
Yes, we went over that. I think in season 1, that was some of the fun facts, is what like a fruitarian diet after Hurley had the shits
That's right.
in like
and
one of the
That's
first
right.
that worked out
episodes.
for him.
And that Steve Jobs, it made him sick, and well, cancer killed him, but the fruit diet didn't help.
Yeah.
So Desmond approaches the picnic with a pretty normally intense look on his face.
Brother,
And ask
where's
Charlie-
my food, brother?
Don't eat that. You're going to choke on a cornflake, brother. Again, he asks Charlie to go on a boar hunt with him. Charlie thanks him for the invite, but says he's busy with a picnic. Claire isn't really paying attention, but is staring up at the birds in the sky, and kind of you can see a look of sort of like almost like an aha moment on her face.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond becomes insistent that of all the things that Charlie could do today, that boar hunting would be the best option. Charlie kind of stares at him with concern, and Claire suddenly says, oh my God, I think I know how to get us off this island. And she gets up and runs off. And Charlie watches her go and then turns to look at Desmond, who places the rifle on his shoulder. I feel like at this point, the island's just conspiring so Charlie can't get laid.
Yeah, stop blocking him.
It's like, yeah, you're not gonna.
Cock block.
And that takes us to the title screen. Claire comes running up to Sun to tell her that she needs Jen's nets and fish and buckets and that they need to hurry. Sawyer is watching from his camp where he's reading a book. Jin says something in Korean and Claire responds, we have to catch the birds. They just flew over and they're only going to be here today. So if we're going to catch one, we need to do it now. Sawyer chimes in, "Oh, this sounds like fun." He nearly calls Claire a nickname. What does he say?
He says
Barbie
Barb.
something, right?
Well, I think, yeah, he just gets Barb out, but I'm assuming he would call her Barbie because she's blonde, so that's easy.
And shrimp on the Barbie because she's Australian.
Oh, that might be it too.
Okay.
That might be it.
Probably just Barbie though.
But Son, before he can finish, looks over her shoulder and gives him sort of a "don't you dare" look. Claire explains that 5 minutes ago, a flock of seabirds flew over her head and that they are migratory, which means they're going to keep headed south. And since scientists tag these birds whenever they land in Australia or New Zealand, somebody is going to pick them up. At this point, Son finally understands her line of thinking and says, "We can send a message."
All I can think of right now is flock of seagulls.
Yep.
And I ran
I ran
so
so
far
far
away.
Okay, wow.
In the corny music video.
I love how they had to write in that Claire watches nature shows with her mom in order to explain this plot line, since they've already blew up Dr. Arts. There's nobody to explain migratory
True.
birds.
Yeah.
Right. So Charlie walks up to the group while Desmond stands back a bit. And Claire lays out her plan. And while she's describing it, Charlie hears something and looks at Desmond, who's standing there with a morose look on his face.
"You're gonna die, Charlie."
Claire says, "First, we got to cut up these fish, make chum, and that'll make the birds settle in the water. And then we're going to need to cut up some of this net." She asks Charlie to get some knives, but he doesn't respond. He's picking at his fingernails and staring into space. She says his name. He still doesn't respond. She yells his name, and his attention snaps back. He asks her how she knows all of this. She says she watched Nature Moms with her show.
Nature Moms with her show?
Nature show? Is that what I said?
Yes.
Yes. Nice. Well, that's what she did. She watched Nature Moms with her show.
Oh my God.
Hey, I heart dyslexia.
Oh my God.
Or was it I dyslexia heart?
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked her how she knows all this, and she says she watched Nature Moms with her show. Cool. I'm glad I did that. Charlie downplays the plan and says he doesn't want to waste her time. She questions his intentions to seize the day, and he responds, "Sorry, I don't see the point." As Charlie walks away, Claire looks at Desmond with a curious face.
She knows something's up.
Yep.
Did you notice halfway through this, while she's kind of explaining the things that she wants to do, Jin just takes off like he understood every word she said?
No.
Yeah, go
I
get
did
the
not.
fish, go get the nets.
Yeah. He's off and going, and it was like,
Well, he's learning, right? I mean,
guess
he's
so.
learning English. So
I guess so. This takes us to flashback number 2. Claire is being sutured by an ER doctor when a cop walks in. He introduces himself as Officer Barnes and apologizes for bothering her, but he needs to know what happened in the accident. She says that a truck forced them off the road while she was driving.
it sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yes.
To the Sarah and Boone or Shannon's dad accident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's definitely a parallel there.
Right.
When he asks if her father has been contacted, she says he died when she was 2. The cop apologizes for that and then questions what speed she was driving when she hit the truck. She corrects him that the truck hit her and that it just came out of nowhere. He tells her the truck driver is fine and asks again about her speed. She gets pissed and wants to know why he's asking her these questions. He says it's standard when there's a fatality. To which she says her mom isn't dead, she's in surgery. Right, so she is, replies the cop. Claire says that the accident was not her fault, and the cop replies, "Didn't say it was. Good day, Miss Littleton." When he walks out, Claire watches him nervously.
And I just wanted to add one more time that goth Claire is stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm really not feeling it.
She can't act goth. She's
It's
still
just-
Claire.
Yeah, it's just stupid. She looks dumb like that, and it's a stupid way to indicate that she's not happy or something like that. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, at least
dumb.
with Jack, they just give him an awful wig and make him shave.
Yep.
Jack, they glue a squirrel to the back of his neck.
Exactly. Kate and Danielle are filling their water bottles by a stream. Kate wonders why Danielle hasn't yet asked anything about Alex after knowing Kate was with her. Danielle replies, "Your friend Jack, do you care about him?" Kate says, "Yes." And Danielle says, "Imagine 16 years from now, you're told he's still alive, but in your heart, you know that he wouldn't remember you. He wouldn't know you. He wouldn't even know that you ever cared about him. I haven't asked you questions about my daughter because I don't want to know the answers."
Ouch.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
But Jack could remember after 16 years. It's different than a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but she's just making the point. Like, if there was the chance that he couldn't remember you, how would you feel about that? Which I think is valid and sad.
So now Kate and Danielle are back with Saeed, Locke, and Mikhail. Kate offers the Russian some water, but he refuses. She asks him how he got to this island, and before he can respond, Danielle says not to bother because every word out of his mouth will be a lie. Mikhail says, "I was recruited when I was 24. I was approached by a man." Kate interrupts and says she doesn't care when, she cares how. He confesses it was by submarine, and she asks if they can come and go as they please. Mikhail tells her, "Oh yes, but 2 weeks ago our underwater beacon stopped emitting its locator signal. There was an event, an electromagnetic pulse. It would be impossible to come back." Kate wants to know why somebody would want to come back, and he tells her she wouldn't understand. She asks again, and he clarifies that he meant that she is not capable of understanding.
Oh.
What?
Mansplaining. When she questions why she's not capable, Mikhail says, "Because you're not on the list."
The list.
Oh.
She wants to know what list, and he says, "The man who brought me here, who brought all of us here, he's a magnificent man." Kate thinks Ben isn't so magnificent if he needs Jack to save him, and Mikhail shakes his head and says, "No, Ben is not."
What?
Uh-oh.
Who?
Could this be Jacob?
I don't know. I do know.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
That's true.
He goes on to
But
tell
that's
the group.
interesting, right, Derek? I mean, what did you think about that when Mikhail basically is like, yeah, no, Ben's not the leader?
See, I thought at first when he said magnificent, I thought he was thinking of Ben, but then when he said not, I was like, uh-oh, who's he talking about?
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
He goes on to tell the group while they're not on the list. He looks at Kate and says she's flawed, and then to Locke and says he's angry. And he turns to Danielle and Saeed and uses the words weak and frightened. Saeed is annoyed by Mikhail's attempt at omniscience and says, "Don't speak to us as if you know us." Mikhail looks at Saeed and replies, "Of course I don't know you, Saeed Jarrah. How could I? And you, Kate Austin, are a complete stranger to me.
What?
But you, you, John Locke, you I might have a fleeting memory of, but I must be confused because the John Locke I know was para." And before he can finish saying anything, Danielle interrupts, says, "Hey, look at this."
Did you notice the look on Locke's face during that, though? Like when he
Yeah, it
almost
was
said the
great.
word paralyzed, Locke looked like he was going to kill him.
Yeah.
LOL.
Mikhail and Locke stare at each other for a moment, and then they follow Danielle. The jungle opens up to a large clearing, and there are pylons, at least 10 feet tall, spread about 30 feet apart between them and the mountain. And it's basically just kind of lining the mountain as far as they can see, almost like a fence. The pylons are square concrete and a few feet thick, and they have half spheres, like concrete spheres at the top on either side. They all stare at what appears to be this fence, and Locke says, "Looks like we're here."
Is it spheres of concrete on the side, or is that metal?
I can't tell. I mean, I'm guessing it's
I would
probably
assume
it'd be some sort of magnetic metal. If it's a sound weapon.
Oh, that's just me writing concrete like an idiot then. But yeah, you're probably right. Considering what it is, metal would make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, this is also a fantasy weapon, so who really knows what the fuck it's made of?
Well, yeah, right.
So we're at Claire at Jen are at the water's edge building a bird catching contraption. They've got the net strewn up and some sticks set up, kind of like a soccer goal. Sun comes up with buckets of fish, and the two women start chopping up chum. What's the difference? Like, when does it become chum? Is it just
When
like
it's all chopped up?
It's just chopped up.
Yeah, it's just
Like
chopped
if you take a
shit.
fish and
Named
just
for-
chop it in half, does it become
Yeah.
chum at that point?
No, I
No,
don't think in half. I
they
think it's got to be
chopped
like
up.
chopped up, you know?
Okay. I only asked that because it looks like when they were doing it, they only chopped them a couple times and that was it. And I always
All
thought
right.
chum
Well, on
was
next
more.
week's pre-show, you can explain to us where the
The,
line
the
is
nuances
drawn.
of chum.
Yes, we'll do that. Stay
Okay.
tuned.
Claire jokes that it smells great, and Son says that this was her mother's worst nightmare. Claire asks why, and Son says that I would end up being something like this, cutting bait, being married to a fisherman's son. Claire replies, well, I guess we don't always turn out like our mothers wanted. Son says that her mother never worked a day in her life, and then Claire says that her mother was a librarian. And Son catches that and says, was? But Claire doesn't want to address it, so she says they need to get the chum over to Jin. Again, the length of their conversation cut short their chum cutting exhibition. So that's kind of what I was wondering, at what point it became chum. Because I imagine them taking over there and Jin looking at him and be like, what? You cut these fish in half. That's not chum.
Well, it says it's fresh chunks of fish meat with bone and blood.
All right. There we go.
Okay,
so do we need
cancel
to
that
tackle
pre-show
that? Yeah, I know.
bit?
Do we need to tackle that in the pre-show then? Then we're in flashback number 3. Claire walks into a hospital room wearing all black, like she's a cosplaying goth.
Oh yeah, I forgot I put that in there.
Obviously, her favorite movie at this point in her life is The Crow.
Oh my god! But that is what it looks. She looks like she's cosplaying goth. Like it just doesn't look like. I don't believe it. It looks like a costume on her.
Yeah,
and
she's in her
it.
she's in her like crushing on Jake Gyllenhaal phase right now. She's like, oh, Donnie Darko is the best movie ever.
I mean, I think she's, crushing on Jared Leto in this phase.
Ooh,
That's probably true. Everyone was crushing on Jared Leto at that point.
Yeah.
Well, no, not in 2006. They weren't. In like 96, when he was on whatchamacallit?
My So-Called
Life. Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's like in a band and he's won an Oscar and...
Oh, good for him.
He hangs out at the Viper Room. Obviously a very cool dude.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Has a
Viper
cult,
Room?
I think.
Yeah. The Viper Room was a club in Los Angeles. It's the place where River Phoenix died.
Well, he died on the sidewalk outside.
He died on the
of
sidewalk
it.
outside,
Right.
yes.
But yeah.
Back to the hospital with Claire. She looks at her mother on life support and starts to cry. From the corner of the room, a woman says, "Where were you?" Claire says she went home to take a shower. The woman, who Claire calls Aunt Lindsay, criticizes her. Basically says, "Oh, that sounds nice." But Claire points out that her mom was still in surgery and that she had glass in her hair. Bitchy Aunt Lindsay says, "Well, I'm glad you're refreshed."
Oh,
Bitch.
fuck off.
Whoa,
Yeah.
man, this bitch
You
is
can't
going on.
shower while your mother's in surgery, really?
Seriously.
Good Lord.
Dr. Woodruff enters, introducing himself to Claire as a neurosurgeon, and says he'll be observing her mother for a few days. He tells the woman that they managed to stabilize her immediate injuries, but that there's been severe head trauma. They won't be able to understand the extent of it until the swelling goes down.
I've been through this. I mean, not the severe head trauma. I've been through witnessing something like this. Christy was sort of there too. But my first husband's father died this way. He was in a motorcycle accident and in a coma for a few weeks. And we were staying with Christy and Caleb at the time because we were still, we lived out here in the Seattle area. And we went through all of these different stages where they had, did all of the testing and stuff and couldn't tell us like the extent of the brain damage until the swelling went down. And then in his case, unfortunately, when that happened, they found that he had brain damage like on every bit of the brain, because when he got in the accident, his like brain, shook around in his head and it just bruised like every bit of it. And once they realized that, they were like, yeah, he's not gonna
Was
be
he wearing a
alive.
helmet?
He was wearing a helmet, but it was not a Department of Transportation approved helmet. So he might as well have not been.
It was probably one of those. Didn't you say that it was one of those like half like skull cap helmets?
Yeah.
Not like a full helmet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The ones that you see like the bikers back in the 70s wearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and still.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The tough guys.
Texas helmets are optional, so
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Well, I mean,
I would never ride a motorcycle
No.
ever.
I've never
Yes.
been on a motorcycle. I had never been on one before that, and then that just like solidified my fear of them. It's not my thing. People, I mean, ride motorcycles all you want. It scares the shit out of me.
Well, it's the other drivers.
Right, like because you're
Most
just
of the
completely
time.
defenseless. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In this case, I don't remember. I don't think he was responsible for the accident, if I remember correctly. I just know that he didn't have on the right protection, and
Right.
it killed him. But I had to. I watched him die when they took him off the machines, and it took hours. And yeah, it was really.
Yikes.
That was one of the more traumatic events of my life, was watching someone actually die. It's
Yeah.
It is not like you see it in the movies, and it's quite like violent. Like the body really tries to stay alive. It's ugh. Anyways, so
I think
yeah, if you're
that's
gonna
in some cases, but in other cases, they
Some people just slip
they
away.
just go.
My dad, I
Well-
didn't watch him die, but I was there 30 minutes before, and he just slipped away like there was no
yeah,
fighting.
no, I'm sorry. There's a caveat to that. When someone is on life support and then they are taken off, there's an adjustment when the body tries to compensate
Yeah, I'm not
for
getting
their
what I
not
want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
for there not being the life support that it was on. Had the body had been able to gradually die and just slip away, like you talking about with your dad, it would have done that. But being on life support, needing the life support to survive, there's this adjustment where the body goes, hey, where's my life support? And then kind of starts to like violently die, like it gasps for air, and like
Yeah,
it's
right.
pretty intense. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't clear about that. But it's not like in the movies when you see them shut off
Just peacefully,
the machines
yeah.
and they just sort of drift away. Like no, the body goes through an adjustment period where it's like, holy fuck, what the hell just happened? So
Or you could be like my friend's wife, who they forgot to turn the ventilator off after she died, and so the family comes in to like pay their last respects, and her chest is still moving up and down.
Oh my God.
That was horrible. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The doctor's like,
Oh.
oops, sorry. Yeah,
Oh no! Oops,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh
Did
no!
they charge him for all
no.
that extra oxygen?
probably.
Oh my
Go in the
god!
hospital.
No.
Yep.
I'm guessing, like, does your insurance pay for oxygen once the body's dead?
Yeah, after death. Yeah.
I will say, I'm gonna end this little depressing anecdote on a
I tried
high note.
to do it funny, but
Yeah.
I want to end it on a high note, though. When you are making the decision to take someone off of life support, they do have the counselor come around to talk to you about donating organs. And my ex-mother-in-law decided to do that, and they donated his organs. And then she started getting letters in the months afterward about like where his cornea went and made a blind person see, I guess. And
That's cool.
Yeah,
they
that's awesome.
Yep.
used his skin to fix burn victims. And gosh, there was one other letter she got that it's escaping me right now, so I don't want to make it up. But it did end on, sort of a happy note that multiple people were helped through that tragedy. So anyways.
I think that ER docs call motorcycle riders organ donors.
Oh gosh.
they should.
Probably. Yeah.
That's morbid, isn't it?
Just
Yeah.
refer to them that way.
I get, yeah. Yikes. All right. So, anywho.
Let's all become
Anywho.
goth now. So.
So once again, we go back
Claire.
to the doctor who just told Claire that they won't know the extent of the injuries until the swelling goes down. But then he
Right.
adds, but I'm afraid we're looking at fairly widespread damage. Claire questions what that means, and he tells her it's the machines that are keeping her alive. He tells her that her mother may never wake up. Claire wants to know if her mother can hear her talk, and the doctor says that he'd like to think so. The aunt wants to know how long she could be like that. He says he doesn't know. It could be years. She tells him that they can't pay for that, and he says, don't worry, her expenses are already taken care of.
What?
When they ask who's doing this, the doctor says that he's been asked to keep it confidential.
So Australia doesn't have like national health care, or
Actually, I think they do.
Yeah.
And they should have in that year as well. So that's just like Americans writing as if that was a thing.
Right.
But
There's
also
another
like
thing later in the episode that I think they got wrong with this whole situation.
with the whole healthcare situation,
Yeah.
you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like, let's pretend this was happening in the United States where we don't have healthcare and let people die for dumb reasons. Is that how it works? Does somebody just come in and anonymously pay forward your medical bills when they haven't even been accrued yet? Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Prepay your medical care.
Yeah, and like, what did he do? Like, walk in, it's like, put it on my Amex? Like, I don't get it. Like, how?
I hope he's getting some points or something for all
Yeah.
that.
He's getting miles off of it.
Yeah, miles off.
Oh my God, his wife at home is like, where'd you get all these miles? Oh, well, my girlfriend's in a coma. I've just been
my
paying
baby
for that.
mama.
All right.
Did you just give that away?
I did.
Did I just give one away? Well, we've all seen the episode.
Yeah,
But okay.
because we don't know who it is.
Yeah, we've all seen. I didn't give it away. Derek's watched the episode. That's why we're recording it, remember? That's the order that
Okay.
it works.
Claire's son and Jin are hiding in the bushes, watching the birds. One of the birds lands in the trap, and they've got a makeshift rope made out of, looks like wiring from the fuselage. And they count to 3 before pulling the trap, which I think is really funny. Like, why do they need to count to 3?
Yeah, just
I don't
points.
know.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
no.
I think it's for our benefit. 3, 2, and then right before they get to 1, then bang, gunshot goes off. Actually, 2 gunshots go off, and the birds fly away. And Claire yells, "Oh no! Oh no!" as Desmond comes running out of the jungle with his rifle. He's trying to say he's sorry. Yeah.
What did you say?
He's trying to say he's sorry.
Fucking Desmond.
Oh, fucking Desmond.
Yeah,
He's trying to say he's sorry while Jin is yelling at him in Korean.
probably cussing him out.
Most likely. And Claire asks, "What the hell is wrong with you? Where's Charlie? Is he with you?" Once again, she just fires off the questions. He tells her he was shooting at a boar and that Charlie is back in the camp. She's immediately suspicious that he happened to be hunting exactly where they were setting the trap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a little suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah.
She wants to know where the boar is, and Desmond says it got away. She demands to know why he and Charlie don't want her catching birds. Desmond plays dumb and says, "Why wouldn't I want you to catch the birds?" And Claire just walks away. Now we're back to the adventure team staring at the fence. Kate walks toward it, and Saeed grabs her arm and pulls her back. He says, "Don't touch it. Don't even go near it." He asks Mikhail about the pylons, and Mikhail wonders what Saeed thinks they are. Saeed says, "A security perimeter. The sensors on the side would be triggered if anyone passed between them. It's an alarm system or a trap. Either way, we'd be safer going around." Mikhail tells Saeed that he's right, but like everything on the island, the fence hasn't worked in years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Saeed's not buying it. Mm-hmm. So Mikhail tells him that the pylons encircle the entire barracks, so there's really no going around them. He tells them to look at the map. They look at the map and confirm that there's something drawn all around the barracks.
Like a row of dots. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
now that makes sense. That's what those are.
Yeah.
As Kate and Saeed look at the map, Locke drops his pack to the ground. Saeed says it looks like Mikhail is telling the truth, just as Locke grabs Mikhail and throws him through the fence.
Love it.
Oh, yes.
Alrighty,
And this is, I think, why Locke got first place for me today, because he was just like, "Fuck this guy."
Oh, it's fucking
Well,
great.
here he goes again.
Well, he's testing the fence. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here he goes again, making a big decision for
I
the
know.
group without
I know.
conversation. Like when he blew the flame
Yeah.
up.
Well, he
But
defends
blowing the
that.
flame up was bad, but not throwing him into the fence. That was great.
He defends that of making the decision in a minute, because he's like,
Yeah.
well, nobody asked me if we should even bring him, and that's, I guess, his defense.
Yeah.
That's
but
true.
I love this fucking move. He just
Yep.
picks him up and throws him into it.
He said
It's
it
brilliant.
hasn't worked in years, so it shouldn't be a problem, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
He just proved that the guy was lying, that he's
Yeah.
a liar and cannot be trusted. And yeah, I mean, plus it moves the story along. So as
And it's an
Mikhail
awesome
breaks,
death scene.
yeah, as Mikhail breaks the plane of the pylons, a sound like something is powering up can be heard. The sound gets louder, and then Mikhail kind of smiles and looks back at Locke and says, "Thank you." just as this whang sound comes up, really, really loud, and everything starts to shake, and Mikhail starts foaming at the mouth, and his eyes kind of roll in the back of his head. Then he starts to shake, and then the camera turns around and is like behind him, and you see like blood like spurting out of his ear.
Yeah,
pretty gory for network TV.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like a Quentin Tarantino blood scene where it was just like shooting for no apparent reason out of its
hilarious.
body. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of those things I think when I watched this and I had like a smaller TV, I didn't notice how much blood was coming out, but like watching it on the
shoots out
TV
of
was
his
just
head.
like, oh yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Those head wounds.
And so obviously it kills the shit out of him. He falls to the ground backward. And Kate says, "Oh my God."
Her fucking face in this scene is amazing.
Great. Yep.
Amazing.
Locke's look at what he's done and casually just says, "Sorry." I love it.
Okay, Locke. Okay.
So Saeed kind of crouches down, looking at Mikhail, but staying on the right side of the fence, and he says, "It looks like he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage."
Yeah,
no
you think?
shit, Saeed.
Thanks, doctor.
All right, doc.
Yeah, that's what that gushing blood from his head was. Thanks, man.
It was a particularly gnarly cerebral hemorrhage.
Yeah. So Kate is pissed and yells at Locke that they needed Mikhail. Locke says that they were never going to trade him for Jack. Kate screams that he doesn't know that, and Locke screams back, "Well, you don't know it either. What we do know is that he shot one of his own people who didn't want to be in this exact situation. So I'm going to stick with my opinion."
I agree.
Yeah.
Kate thinks that they should have discussed it, but Locke points out that nobody discussed it with him whether to bring Mikhail in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Locke
They're
then claims
fighting
there was
like a
no
little
way.
family.
Yep.
Locke then claims there was no way he could have known it was a sonic weapon fence.
Aside from Mikhail telling them that it was the sonic weapon fence.
Said wants to know why Locke is really there, implying it's not for Jack.
Of course not.
Locke says, "Why else would I be here?"
I know.
Saeed says they'll discuss it later.
Even before I knew it wasn't for Jack.
Yeah, right. But I love how Saeed is like, he's like a married couple. Like, put a pin in it. We're coming.
Yep.
We're circling back to this, Locke.
Kate says that they should go over the fence and asks for Echo's axe. Saeed says it's in Locke's pack and then goes to grab it before Locke can. When she reaches inside, she pulls out a block of C4. Looks at Locke and says, "I thought you didn't know that there was any C4. Locke says casually, "Well, I stand corrected."
Locke is great in this.
He's so great and so
the
dick
best.
at the same time.
Yep.
I stand corrected.
Yep.
Wow.
I like this Locke.
Wow. Yeah.
Saeed wants
Such a
to-
fucking asshole.
Oh, I love
He's
his
so
dad.
dick.
But it's funny, though.
It's
It's
great.
funny.
Saeed wants to know why he took it, and Locke says, you never know when a little bit of C4 might come in handy.
He is right.
Saeed isn't buying it and says, "You'll have to do better than that."
Mm-hmm.
So back at the beach, Charlie is putting Aaron down for a nap when Claire rushes up to ask him what's going on. He tries to shush her, but she demands to know what the deal is with him and Desmond. She asks if he knows about Desmond scaring off the birds. When Charlie denies it, she accuses him of lying. Again, he tries to downplay what he saw, saying the birds are probably not tagged. She tells him she's sorry about her stupid ideas. It won't happen again. Then she says she doesn't really want Aaron around liars.
Oh, God.
You know what? I am so tired of her using that kid
Oh, I
as a
know.
I'm
weapon
saying the
against
same thing.
people.
I hate
What the
this
fuck?
I don't want my
Sucks.
baby around liars. It's like, the baby can't understand what the fuck I'm saying. It certainly can't
Yeah.
understand that I'm lying. Come on.
Right.
It's
Jesus
just so
Christ.
I think she is really wrong when she uses him as a weapon, and it
Yeah,
pisses
she
me
really
off every
does.
fucking time.
She uses it as like a proxy for intimacy. It's like, oh, you can't change my baby's diapers if you're a liar. It's like, why would I want to?
I wouldn't want to change your baby.
Fuck you.
And it's one of those cloth diapers, too, so it's nasty.
Seriously.
It is
Ew.
gross.
Charlie tells her that she's overreacting, and she says, "Overreacting? No. I thought you were here for me, that I could count on you. I was wrong. I'm on my own. At least I know that now."
Jesus.
Charlie tries to talk to her, but she tells him to go.
I mean, I get it. Like, Charlie's not being honest, and there's obviously something going on, and she's frustrated, but she's like, acts like a child.
Yeah, she really does.
Like,
My baby.
She's petulant and obnoxious.
She is petulant and obnoxious, and she's basically like it's weird the way that she uses Aaron especially with Charlie.
Yeah, she could just say, I don't want to be around liars. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, but it's always got to be everything is
Charlie,
going through her baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
baby.
Exactly. Everything through her baby. Yeah, and that really pisses me off.
So this brings us to flashback number 4. Claire walks into a hospital where her mother is, I guess, still in a coma. A nurse greets her and tells her that she likes the new doctor. Claire's a bit confused, and the nurse tells her that there's an American with her mom now. When Claire walks into her mother's room, she finds a gray-haired man in a suit without a jacket. His back is facing Claire, and his right hand is touching her mother.
Derek, could you tell who it was before you turned around?
Yes, I figured that was him. Yes.
And when you saw him, did you immediately know what was coming?
Yes.
You did?
I was
okay.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Well, because I figured he was the one who took care of it, all of that. So
Okay. So, but it clicked right away
but it was
when you
still
were like,
a fucking shock.
yeah, right. All right, let's get to it. Sorry.
So she says, "Excuse me, the nurse said that you're a doctor," and the man turns around, revealing himself to be Christian Shepherd.
What?
Oh my God!
Yep. Holy shit!
Oh
Wow.
my God! Oh my God! Claire's Jack's sister. Oh
Yeah, what the hell?
He looks unusually flustered.
Would it
and-
have been weird if they would have
Oh,
done it on the island before?
Oh, I know.
Thank God they didn't like fuck or something. Oh God!
Yeah, like
Arkansas, yeah.
a Luke and Leia moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stepbrother
Oh,
and
that's
sister is one thing, but half brother and sister, no.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he looks unusually flustered and says, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be disturbing you. I was just leaving." But before he could exit, bitchy Aunt Lindsay comes into the room, sees Christian, and what do you know? She gets angry. She says Carol wouldn't want him there. He calls Lindsay by name and says he was just leaving. Claire is really, really confused and asks her aunt who the man is. Christian says Lindsay should tell her because she deserves to know. Then they begin to argue. Christian says Lindsay is not the arbiter of the situation. She claims that he is taking advantage of Carol's condition. And it's getting heated.
Yeah, kind of.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
And they're yelling at each other.
Yeah.
It's getting heated when Claire screams, "Stop it," and then asks if Christian is the one paying the medical bills. He admits that he is. Claire asks his identity, and he responds, "I'm your father, Claire."
Luke.
What?
I am your father.
Claire, I
Yeah, I
am
was like,
your
holy
father. Yeah, big fucking reveal. Out of nowhere, too. You don't even see it coming, and
Right,
it's just
yeah.
suddenly like, holy shit.
Would have been better if he just whipped out a lightsaber and chopped her hand off.
I know.
I am your father.
Also, like, how wealthy is Christian?
Oh, man.
That he just has like enough money to pay for a woman on life support? Like,
Yeah,
what
that's
is
For
not
years,
inexpensive.
I mean, I
No.
get that he's a surgeon, but like, Jesus Christ, how does he have that much like disposable? I guess
Three
must
words.
save.
Invested
Three
well.
words. Three
Yeah.
words. Hunter Biden's laptop.
Ah,
That's how.
Okay. All right. Great.
Back on the island, Locke is chopping down a tree while the rest of the adventure team watches. After the tree falls, they make a sort of a X stand, I guess. I don't know what that is. And they put the tree to over the top of one of the pylons. So he says that the system fires a sonic pulse when an object breaks the plane. So if they stay above it, they should be fine. That is wishful thinking, is it not? Especially considering that the pylons themselves are semicircles, so you would think that it would actually go in all directions.
go up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess if they stay between the pylons, that's like
Yeah.
one of the security systems. Like when Trump is talking about the fence, He's like, oh, you couldn't get down from this fence. Well, unless you brought a rope. It's like, it's not a very good security system if you can just get over it.
Yeah.
That's why if they want to keep it out, they got to build it like the Berlin Wall, because not many people cross that.
No.
Everybody crosses the wall down in Mexico.
Oh, yeah, it's a joke.
God. Yeah. It's like you got to
Especially when
get
it blew over that time.
You got to go over that thing to get a pack of cigarettes down there.
Oh.
It's a great wall. It's the best wall. It's huge.
Huge wall.
Yeah.
So Danielle wonders why they don't just use the C4, and Locke welcomes her to, says, go ahead, go. If you want to go close to that thing, go for it.
No, he says, go ahead and attach it.
Yeah.
Be my guest is what he says. You want to attach it? Be my guest.
Said says that whoever climbs over the wall first will need to stay wide of the sensors.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Seriously, right? Of course, Kate volunteers. Of course, Kate volunteers to go first.
Hell yeah.
Climbs up the tree, and she stops for a moment to take a deep breath before climbing over the top of the pylon. But then she makes it over with no trouble, takes another breath, hangs down from the tree, and then drops down to safety on the other side. Locke says, I guess I'll go next. And as Locke begins to climb, Kate slowly turns over Mikhail's body. Locke jumps down next to her and stands over the body while they stare at it together. Back on the beach, Sun and Claire are changing Aaron's into a new diaper. Sun,
A sweatshirt diaper. It's a sweatshirt. That's disgusting.
Well, they don't have nappies, you know.
I don't care. It's gross.
They got to use something.
Ugh.
you use whatever they make the torches out of. I'm sure that type of material would be good for diapers.
Why would you be sure of that?
Because it's generally like,
absorbent.
it's usually back. I mean, I'm assuming that they don't have like petroleum torches there or whatever, so they probably would have some sort of thin cloth that would be.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to fuck make torches, whatever.
Or diapers, for that matter.
Or diapers, for that
shoes,
matter. Yeah, just buy those at the store.
My parents said they tried cloth diapers at first. They gave up real quick.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
I can imagine.
Ugh.
My parents did it for a little while with my brother, but yeah, gross.
Yeah. So Sun is validating Claire's feelings about the bird situation. Claire is less angry than she is, confused as to why Desmond, who never hunts, would be doing it right then.
Mm-hmm.
Sun mentions that whatever's going on, it's being argued about, and sort of points over at Desmond and Charlie, who are arguing a little ways away on the beach. Claire asks Sun to watch Aaron while she gets some answers and then heads towards the arguing pair. This brings us to flashback 5. Claire is working in a tattoo parlor. Obviously, it's her gift as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, this
Oh, my
is just
God.
her goth rebellious phase. Obviously,
That's
they have to
right.
throw
Yep.
tattoos in there too. Another thing that's
Exactly.
like makes you a bad girl, I guess.
Yeah.
The fuck.
The bell on the door rings and somebody walks in.
Oh, and also, I'm so sorry, but also, whenever in the history of ever has there been a tattoo artist that has no tattoos?
Well,
She
True.
has
Very
no.
true.
She has
It's
no
true.
tattoos.
she's not a tattoo artist. She's
Yeah,
a
she was
piercer.
just piercing the chick's ear with
Yeah,
a
she was
with a
piercing.
gun.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I assumed she'd be doing both, but if she's just a piercer. Okay. When in the history of ever do you have a piercer with no piercings? She's
Well, maybe
not.
her
yeah.
nipples are pierced.
She's not pierced either. All right, whatever.
No,
Again,
she gets pierced
she's-
later. Then she gets pregnant.
Oh boy. She's cosplaying as a piercer. Again, it's silliness.
Claire yells to the front that she'll be right there and then finishes the piercing. When she looks up, she sees Christian Shepherd standing at the counter. He asks to buy her a cup of coffee. She tells him that she has nothing to say to him. Christian looks desperate and says, Claire, I'm leaving tonight, and then I'll be out of your life forever. Just one cup of coffee.
So I just have to say, those ear piercing guns are awful, and nobody should ever get anything pierced that way.
No, never.
None of this looks sanitary. Claire isn't wearing gloves. I'm not sure how well she can really wash that left hand because she's got a cast on it. I'm just like, ew. The whole thing, I don't know.
Also, who
they
who
do-
uses a gun in an actual piercing shop? No one. That's what you would find like in the mall.
What do they use?
needle?
They use needles.
Oh, actual just needles.
Yeah.
Because
like
a
that's
gun,
the-
it's like
Well, the
using
gun
a
is
hole
like that
punch.
place called Claire's that little
Yeah.
kids get their ears
exactly.
pierced.
Which
Yeah.
you shouldn't go to those places. You should
Never.
take them to a piercing or a tattoo parlor to get it done, but not one that uses the fucking piercing gun.
Yeah, the gun
You shouldn't
is not
let your
good.
children get piercings of any sort, because then they're going to start listening to rock and roll music.
Oh my God.
They're going
Oh
to start
my God.
talking back. They're going to stop saying ma'am and sir.
Oh boy.
So next, we find Claire and Christian sitting in a cafe. It looks kind of like in a mall.
Oh, so maybe she was piercing in a mall. I didn't think of that until just now. But yeah, they do look like they're in like a mall
Could be,
courtyard, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense if she's cosplaying as a goth and working in a mall piercing shop. Okay. All right, it's coming.
Probably
It's
a
all coming
Hot
together
Topic
now.
or something.
Yeah. Well, she certainly
Yeah.
looks like she's been dressing like she's just walked out of a Hot Topic this entire
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. All right.
So she says, so it's true. And Christian confirms he is her father. She wants to know how he found out about the accident. He said a doctor friend in Sydney called. Claire wants to know why
what
her
is this?
mother...
Wait, no, excuse
what
me.
is that?
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Do they not have privacy laws in Australia? Is that
They
we're gonna have to
should
look
have a
that
HIPAA.
up?
Yeah.
What is that about? You can't just get like a doctor just goes, oh, I recognize this woman. I know somebody that knows her. Let me call and
Yeah,
be like,
exactly.
she's in
I
surgery.
know this happened before selfies, but I imagine like Christian opened up his phone and his friend had taken a selfie, like, right next to the lady in the
Oh my
coma.
God.
Is this
You'll
your
never-
baby mama?
Yeah, OMG, guess who just showed up?
Like what the heck? This is like back in the episode where like Locke hires the personal or the private investigator and the guy's like, oh well, I just got like your mom's mental health
Yeah.
records or whatever. Like your mom's in
Yeah.
a mental hospital. Like, no, you can't just like get medical information like that. It doesn't work like that. It's ridiculous.
And this doctor in Sydney just happened to recognize this. Oh, that's Christian Shepherd's baby
Right,
mama.
right.
Yeah, let me call
I
him.
know. Yeah. I know the guy.
Yeah.
Like, my friend Christian's been banging this woman for a while. Like, let me give him a call. What the hell? Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
So Claire wants to know why her mother told her that Christian was dead. And he says, well, they had a fling and he was back in LA when he found out that Carol was pregnant and that she had decided to keep the baby. He tells her that he visited a bunch of times when she was little. He stayed over, he brought her toys, he sang to her. She kind of smiles at that one. She questions why he stopped coming. And Christian says, because your aunt hates me. And your mother didn't like the fact that I had another family.
Well, I mean, that's a valid complaint.
So according to him, he treated her very differently than he did
His
the way we
wife.
saw he treated Jack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. You're right. Isn't that interesting? Maybe it was like a second chance sort of thing. Now I have a kid I could be there for. Although, I mean, she lives in Australia, but like,
A long flight.
yeah.
Or maybe
Yeah, that's
because
interesting.
if you don't have a fear of, I mean, I think I'm trying to think about this from a perspective, like he has this fear that he's going to be the one raising Jack. So he tries to drive Jack to excel and to be all these things. He doesn't have that same fear because he knows he's not actually raising this other kid. So it allows him to be like tender and not have his own ego shit get in the way.
Maybe.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's an interesting take. Huh. All right. Well, what does Claire think of all this?
Yeah. And why? Because your aunt hates me. Why is that a reason? That sounds like a
aunt.
fucking
Yeah.
cop out to me.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
true.
that aunt.
I mean, your mother not liking that I had another family. Okay, that's fucking valid. Like,
Yeah, that part's valid.
that can make things tense. So she wants to know why he's there now, and he says it's to help. He tries to explain that her mother is alive, but not really living. He suggests alternative ways to relieve her pain without legal consequences.
So this is what I was talking about when I was saying I think that the show got this wrong, because it is legal in Australia to remove someone from life support. I checked.
No Dr. Kevorkian needed.
Well, it's also legal in the United States, too, as long as the doctors determine that they're brain dead.
Right, but Christian is kind of inferring that, they won't be able to remove her from life support, so he knows an alternative way
Right. No,
to
I
kill
get
her,
it.
basically.
No,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I'm saying, like, what is he even talking about? Like, why? Yeah, I guess
It's just
that doesn't make
unnecessary.
sense. No, it doesn't make sense.
Claire gets pissed and accuses him of coming there to fix a mistake. She says paying the bills doesn't make him noble and tells him to go back to his real family.
Yeah.
She tells him that he might be her father, but she doesn't even know his name and that she wants to keep it that way. As she walks away, Christian chases her, grabs her arm, and says, Claire, listen to me. don't keep your mother alive for the wrong reasons. Now there's hope and there's guilt, and believe me, I know the difference. They stare at each other for a second, and he says, "Bye, kiddo. It was great seeing you again."
Kiddo.
With everything else like going on set aside, he's at least given her good advice.
That's true.
Yep.
She should have let her mother go. I think it's sad to keep somebody in a coma when there's no chance of them waking up. It's weird.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Clara's back on the island. Clara's following Desmond down a rocky shore. She's more stalking him in her own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On a rocky shore. She catches up as he goes off the edge of a rock. That sounds like he's falling. What the hell are you doing?
No,
She shouts at him.
Over. Whatever.
He's surprised. She's followed and tells her to stay back. Claire then sees a bird nest on the rock beyond Desmond. Desmond tells her to stay back, and then he goes and picks up the bird. This bird is really, really just like letting him.
Yeah, it's very
I was
tame.
doing the same thing.
Why didn't it just fly away?
Yeah.
It flew away later, so. She wants to know how he knew that the bird was there, and he claims he didn't. And she's like, "Come on, seriously, you walked right here. That's what you and Charlie were arguing about." And he tries to play dumb. Desmond pauses for a second, and he says, "Okay, fine. You see that spot over there?" And he points to this area in the water where there's waves crashing against the rocks. He says, "That's where Charlie slipped and fell. He got pounded again and again by the rocks, and it broke his neck." Claire's alarmed and says, "What are you talking about?" And Desmond replies, "That's where Charlie died."
What?
Uh-oh. I guess he didn't break the curse.
No.
Riding shotgun.
Well, maybe
Claire-
the third time's a charm?
Could be. Could be. The island is mysterious. Claire is carrying the bird to Charlie on the beach. She tells him that Desmond found it and that he told her everything. She knows about the visions, the lightning, how Charlie was going to drown trying to save her, how he would have died trying to get the bird. Charlie stares at her for a moment and says, "You don't believe all that, do you?" Which takes us to flashback number 6. Claire now looks like the one we know. She's no longer shopping at Hot Topic. And she's
Blonde
pregnant.
and pregnant.
Yeah, she can't afford overpriced, ugly-ass clothes from Hot Topic anymore.
Oh, my God.
Her mom's still in a coma. The TV is off, and as Claire comes in, turns it back on, saying something about how they should know that her mom likes her nature shows. She asks her mother if she had an okay night, and then says, "There's something I have to tell you, Mom. I should have told you this a long time ago. I'm pregnant. I'm giving it away, though. It's for the best. I don't know how you did it, raising me alone. It must have been so hard, and I was just so awful, so horrible to you." And then she starts to cry, says, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for all of the awful things I did to you in the car, said that I hated you, that I wished that you were dead. It's all my fault,
What?
the accident, everything. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, this is pretty fucked up. So they were like arguing when her mom goes through the windshield. Like,
And I wish you were dead.
boy.
And then
Yeah.
Her mom was
That's-
probably like, "Stop dyeing your hair black. It looks stupid."
Yeah, right.
That's what my
Stop
mom
being
says
goth.
to me. I've had my hair black for 20 years, and every time I see my mother, she's like, "When are you going to be blonde? When are you going back to blonde? You're my blonde baby." I'm like, "Mom, she's gone."
Stop it. I'm not a baby. Just stop it. Just stop it.
But I never put her through a windshield over it. So,
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
although my
Well, she
mother
probably
has,
wears her seatbelt too.
my mother
That's
has
true.
been through a windshield just like that.
Oh, wow.
On her honeymoon with my father. They were in Jamaica and they were driving through the sugarcane fields and it was raining and they came to like a crossroad and somebody just drove through like right into the car. And this was Jamaica in the 70s and they didn't really like have seatbelts, I think. And she went through the windshield on her honeymoon and had eye surgery in Jamaica without any anesthesia because she had to be awake, like local anesthesia, but she had to be awake. She had to keep her eyes open. Yeah.
Wow.
And even to this day, like through my whole life, my mother would just like every now and then she'd be like scratching her eye and she'd reach up and just pull a piece of glass out of her eyeball.
Oh, my.
Ouch.
Wow.
That's still in there. Yeah, she's got a little box, somewhere hidden
With shards in it.
Yes, with like all of the glass that she's pulled out of her eye over the years, and it's like a little. It looks
Why
like
does
a
she
little
have to be
box full of
awake?
diamonds.
They could have just put the clockwork orange things in their eyes that force your eyes open.
Well, this was Jamaica in the 70s.
that's true,
it's not
Mom,
the same
yeah.
type of medicine that you're going to get in the United States, and so that was why. Anyways, yeah.
So this isn't quite as crazy as that, but I have a chunk of glass in my left hand.
You do?
It's been there for almost 20 years. I was cleaning something that was glass and it broke and I got cut really bad and I should have probably gone to the hospital.
But it just healed over it?
Yeah, so it healed over it. But every now and then, if I put my weight down on that part of my hand,
You
I
can feel
can
it.
feel the glass.
Oh,
Wow.
fuck that.
And you can feel it as you just like rub the skin there. But yeah, I can like it hurts sometimes when I put my weight on it. It's fun.
I bet it would.
It's
I
funny.
feel like I may have something similar to that on the inside of my index finger because there's a spot that no matter, like, for years, anytime something touches it, it's like, God damn it, it really, really hurts. And I always wondered if I got something in there that has never come out.
That's possible.
It's possible.
Anywho.
I'm just a giant pussy.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
Back
think
on the
so.
island, Charlie is reading the letter Claire wrote. Their, come save us message that she's attaching to the bird. While he's reading it, we get shots of all the survivors doing their day-to-day stuff on the island.
Did you see when they pan over Sawyer during that? It's sort of like a montage almost. You get a little bit of that visually, only not music with Charlie reading this. But Sawyer is sitting on the beach reading Ayn Rand.
Yeah, I
the
saw that.
Fountainhead.
Oh.
Oh, God, who the hell brought that? Whose luggage was that book in?
Yeah, probably the one with the porn. With cheap
The same
porn.
guy traveling with porn had Ayn Rand.
No, it's probably the guy with the McCutcheon. He was just like, yeah, I've got a lot of money, so I read Ayn Rand.
God. All right.
Also in this montage, you see Son giving Aaron a kiss, and I've rewound it several times. The baby looks so uninterested. The baby looks so fucking bored with the situation. It was really funny. The note reads, "To whom it may concern, we are survivors of Oceanic Flight 815. We have survived on this island for 80 days. We were 6 hours into the flight when the pilot said we were off course and turned back towards Fiji. We hit turbulence and crashed. We've been waiting here all this time, waiting for a rescue that has not come. We do not know where we are. We only know you have not found us. We've done our best to live on this island. Some of us have come to accept that we may never leave it. Not all of us have survived since the crash, but there is new life too, and with it, there is hope. We are alive. Please don't give up on us."
Oh, gives me goosebumps.
Charlie tells Claire that it's perfect, and she says, "You know I'm not giving up on you either, Charlie. It's going to be okay." Charlie attaches the note to the bird's tag, and then Claire releases it. The bird can
It
magically
flies
fly
away.
now. Yep.
Yeah, but like it's a piece of paper.
That's what I was thinking too. To wrap it in plastic or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bird is flying over the ocean and landing on little islands and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not going to make it to Australia.
Like, seriously.
Don't ruin my hope, Christy.
Damn it.
I also noticed as the birds fly away, they look like, again, I guess seeing these things on a bigger TV, the birds look like they look so bad.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
You can
Like,
tell they're just like put there, and they're not really
Yeah.
birds there, and they're sort of moving in a way that doesn't coincide with the way their wings are flying. Like it's
And
just really
they
awesome.
It looks terrible.
It's like when we saw that
flew
moth.
so
I ran so
Inside the-
far
away.
away. Couldn't get away.
Okay.
Back to the A team in the jungle. Saeed walks up to Kate and says, "We're here." They walk to the edge of the jungle and see the barracks. As they duck behind some bushes, Kate sees Jack running towards them. She starts
And
to
they
say
make
his
it
name.
look like he's trying to
Like
flee,
he's actually
right?
saw
Yeah,
them,
like
yeah.
you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the way he's running. You're like, oh shit, he sees him.
Oh
Here
shit!
he comes.
They're going to be
Yeah.
shooting. They're going to be chasing him.
Run, Forrest.
yeah.
She nearly says his name and tries to jump out of the jungle when Saeed grabs her and pulls her back. They watch as Jack turns and catches a football that was thrown by Tom
What?
Friendly. Tom
What?
yells, "Yeah!" Jack throws the ball to Tom. Tom throws it back, and Jack catches again and then joyfully spikes the ball into the ground.
It was so
What
sad.
End of episode.
What is happening?
Touchdown.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
What'd
that
you
was
think,
like-
Derek? That's a 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah.
Jack and
it
Claire are
was.
half siblings, and then he's like, what? An other now? What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And football, really? They like volleyball, soccer. I mean, they're football. I guess they're having to show that they're Americans.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Anybody interested in some fun facts about sonic weapons?
Not
Sure.
today. I'm good. Thank you.
Damn.
Yes, sonic weapons.
All right. Simply put, sonic weapons are those of various types. What they have in common is they use sound to injure or incapacitate someone. What we saw in today's episode obviously is not a real thing, but let's talk about what what you can do with a sonic weapon.
You can't make somebody's, ears shoot blood.
Not like that, no. Unfortunately, no. So Herb Friedman, a retired sergeant major in the U.S. Army's Psychological Operations Program, says that all throughout history, the use of sound has been used to threaten the enemy and raise the morale of your own people. In World War II, during the German siege of the Soviet city of Stalingrad in 1942, Soviet troops kept German forces awake at night by playing Argentine tangos through loudspeakers. In Vietnam, U.S. forces played music, insults, and the sounds of tanks and tigers in order to fuck with the opposition. In Waco, Texas, FBI agents tried to get David Koresh and his followers to surrender by playing all kinds of songs, notably Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Were Made for Walking, which is also used in Lost, to Christmas carols and Tibetan monk chants.
They should have just gone with Chumbawamba.
Oh.
Chumbawamba wasn't around in Waco.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
It would have ended very differently if Chumbawamba were around. They would have been like, no, we're done.
Again,
Pissing the night away.
Yeah,
surrender.
yeah.
I surrender. Yeah. All right. So these things that I have already mentioned obviously are more minor inconveniences or things that are made to like make you go mad after a certain amount of time. Though, compared to the capabilities of some other sonic weapons that can have real physical effects like nausea and physical discomfort, some even high-powered sound waves can disrupt or destroy the eardrums of a target and cause severe pain or even disorientation.
Isn't that what they think happened?
Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba.
We're gonna get there. Actually,
Okay.
I'm about to bring that up in 2 paragraphs. So, a long-range acoustic device, also known as an LRAD, produces a 30-degree cone of audible sound in frequencies within the human hearing spectrum. One of those, the LRAD, was used by the crew of a cruise ship called the Seabourn Spirit in 2005 to deter pirates who were chasing and attacking the cruise ship. More commonly, this device and others of similar design have been used to disperse protesters and rioters in crowd control efforts. It has been reported that sonic attacks may have taken place in the American embassy in Cuba in 2016 and 17, nicknamed the Havana Syndrome. It led to health problems, including hearing loss for U.S. and Canadian government employees at each of their embassies. So that was the first thought, that it was a sonic weapon. However, when I was looking that up, I did find that more recent reports do not believe that is the case. Instead, they hypothesized that it was microwave energy that was the cause of Havana Syndrome.
Okay, well, that sounds unpleasant as well.
It does, yes. So other effects of sonic weapons can be found in various internal organs and the central nervous system. You can be subject to auditory shifts, muscle contractions, cardiovascular function change, central nervous system effects, vestibular inner ear effects, and chest and wall of the lung tissue can be affected by the vibrations. Researchers have also found that super, super low frequency sonar exposure can result in cavitations in the body, hypothermia, and tissue just shearing right off of your body.
That sounds really unpleasant.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible. So
Yeah, tissue shearing is always bad.
I can't really think of a time that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that is sonic weapons. Shall we go into best and worst moments? I'd like to hear from Derek first. What'd you have there, buddy?
My best moment was when Locke pushes Mikhail through the sonic fence.
I mean, yeah, yes.
He made a decision. He made an executive decision.
Yeah.
And did it. And then the worst moment was Christian Shepherd basically appearing, but also suggesting that Claire put her, mom out of her misery.
Oh, that was your worst moment? See, I think he was being reasonable.
Well, I'm not. Like I'm glad my dad had his own. He did his. What do you call it?
Like a
do not
living
resuscitate.
Yeah, do not
DNR.
He did a DNR because I can't make that decision. I would not be able to make that decision.
Yeah.
He made it with my mom after she was on a ventilator for 18 years, and I know it was probably very, very difficult.
She was on a ventilator for 18 years?
Days. I'm sorry. Days.
I was like,
18 days.
What?
No.
Okay.
She didn't last that long, but yeah,
on
18 days. Still a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the doctors basically said there's no hope, there's no way. Her lungs are basically finished, so he made a decision.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. Ben, best and worst moments, please.
My favorite moment was when Jack spikes the football.
Yeah, it's a big moment. Yeah, that's a big moment.
It says a lot, right? It's just the fact that he did that shows that he's having fun, he's comfortable.
Right.
There's several things that are like, what the fuck?
Right.
My least favorite scene was probably Aunt Lindsay bitching about Claire taking a shower. I was just like, I want to just go over there and put her head through a fucking wall. I was like, fuck you.
Seriously.
Like, you suck.
She does.
Yeah.
I actually had 4 best moments because I am unsure about what the word best means.
Yeah.
So here they all are. 1, Christian Shepherd turns around. Holy fuck. 2 is just a quote. No, I like dogs.
I loved that moment too.
Yeah.
You like dogs?
3 is when Jin is yelling at Desmond for shooting the gun, and he goes, yeah, for some weird reason. And then 4 is Mikhail into the fence, which really, if I had to choose one, that would be the top one. But my worst moment is Claire playing nature shows to her comatose mother. Let the woman go. Christy, how about you?
I had 2 best moments. The 2 big reveals. Christian is Claire's father, and Jack is playing football with the others. Those were my best. And my worst was just Claire using that goddamn ear piercing gun.
I love that that's your worst.
I used to work at one of those stupid boutiques, and I had to
They let anybody do
ear
that.
piercing. I know.
Yeah, it's awful.
They'll let just any, no training.
No.
So does it hurt worse than just using a needle?
Imagine... I think it does a little bit, but the difference is a needle pokes directly through. It's a thin thing, and you just, push something back through the hole. The guns, it's like a hole punch. It just punches out a piece of your flesh.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, a hole punch.
Yeah, it's
no,
worse.
I think it's the opposite, because when they're using the needles, they're using a hollow needle to remove that part. Whereas with the gun...
So I guess right, it removes it either way, but one is you've had a needle go in your arm. It hurts a little bit, but it's, a larger gauge needle is going to hurt, obviously. And that's what it does. Yeah, with the hollow is the larger gauge, but it doesn't punch it. It's not it's a difference between using something sharp and using something more blunt in a way. Not that
it's definitely a difference in how clean the hole is going to be.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
Clean the hole
Next week we'll be talking about piercing machines, guns, and
all right. let's do some character rankings. Christy, keep going. What are your rankings this week? Who are you fucking and killing?
So, kind of a surprise for me because she's not my favorite character. I put Claire as number 1.
Okay.
Desmond is number 2 because he's still trying to save Charlie. And Charlie is number 3. He's trying to be sweet with Claire, and he's trying to not be the asshole that he was in the second season.
I see that we all have Charlie. We all have Charlie in the top this week. That's probably the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the only one that likes him.
I thought Locke was a complete fucking asshole in this whole episode.
That. You hate him. We all loved him.
I hated him in this episode. And then Aunt Lindsay is second, and I didn't have a third.
Okay. Fucking and killing?
Oh, blonde Claire and Desmond. Okay. And then I'm going to kill Aunt Lindsay. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Perfect.
I had Locke as number 1 this week. Bold, determined Locke is back. I fucking love it. He's sarcastic. He's unapologetic. He's on a fucking mission.
No, he apologized to him after he pushed him through the fence and killed him.
Yeah,
sorry.
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 Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So I love all of that, and I think he's great. Saeed, I've got him on there simply for sarcastic Saeed. Love it. I have Charlie as my third. He's really trying to be like decent. I have bitchy Aunt Lindsay as my worst, and that was where I left it. And this week I am going to have a threesome. I will be fucking Locke and Saeed with the sonic weapon on low, so it like tickles our buttholes.
Wow.
And then I got a taste for it last week, so just for fun, I'm going to kill Randy Douchebag Nations again
Jesus
this
Christ.
week.
Wow.
Because I got the thirst for it. Ben, how about you?
I got Locke in the top spot. I enjoyed his character. Being a dick as he is, it's still very enjoyable. And every time he does something like this, it makes the story move forward. So I got Charlie in second place because he was typically, being sweet to Claire is not something that's going to get you in my top 3. But in this case, he's really trying. And I actually have Christian as my third because I felt like he was trying to do the right thing, best of bad situation. He can't take back what had happened. At the bottom, I've got just Mikhail. I don't like that character. Bye. And then for fuck, I'm going to fuck Sun, and I'm not going to kill anybody because the person that I would have killed is already dead.
All right. Derek, what do you have for us?
My best was Locke because I just liked the decisive, sarcastic Locke.
Yeah.
Yep. He's back. And second was Charlie because, like Ben said, he's trying with Claire, even though, she would go back and forth. And then third was Claire because she came around at the end.
All right.
And then my worst is bitchy Aunt Lindsay just because she's her. And contrary to what everyone else says, I would fuck Goth Claire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you also had Christian in your bottom,
Christian
too, though,
Shepherd's
right?
my second worst.
So why did you put him in the bottom? I'm interested since Ben had him in the top.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of him, overall.
Gotcha. All right.
And the thing I'm gonna fuck Goth Claire.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, a little different. And I'm gonna kill bitchy Aunt Lindsay.
All right, cool. Oh, Ben, update us. What's it look like after the first 12 episodes of season 3?
We still have Sawyer in first place with 71 points, Juliet in second place with 61, and Hurley in third place with 50. No movement anywhere in the top 3.
None of those 3 characters were in this week.
Yeah. Yep. And I'd say the bottom 3 is exactly the same. We've got Deadpan Stanny with -90, Poopstick Paolo or Paolo Poopstick, whichever, and -66, and Charles Widmore with -29. So this may be one of the first weeks that I don't think it has moved at all. I don't think a single character in the top or bottom 3 have changed. Yeah,
like now that we're in season 3 and the storylines, there's so much more separation because you're like you're with the others or you're here. And there was a little bit of that in season 2 until everybody came together. But this is more like separate, I feel like. So, interesting. I wonder how long it'll last. Maybe this will just be the final scores. All
Could
right.
be. I'd be trouble. I think anyone catching Deadpants Danny is going to be tough. I mean, we still have the expose to go, so maybe Paolo could eke in there, but we'll see.
I mean, next week we see Mr. Cooper again. I have a feeling he might.
That's true.
He might do a little damage in the bottom.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, damn. Damn, you should
Is that the sonic weapon
lube
jingling your
up.
buttholes?
All right, guys. Let's do some final impressions and be done with this episode. Ben, what'd you think of Par Avion?
Typically, I'm not a big fan of Claire. We all know this, but I actually did like this episode. It was nice to see Christian Shepherd kind of getting woven back into the story, and it's interesting, of course, the kind of reveal that not even so much that he's her father, more that Jack is her brother or half brother.
Right.
I think that's really the sort of like wow.
And Aaron is Jack's nephew.
Yeah, Aaron is
Oh,
Jack's
wow.
nephew. Yeah,
But Claire
exactly.
doesn't know that because she doesn't even know Christian Shepherd's name.
No,
Yeah.
she has no idea.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be
Exactly.
something though if like she was walking down the beach and his body was like washed up on shore? She's like, "What the fuck?"
Well, by
Jack?
now it's been 80 days. I think it would be unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, but I mean, it was up and walking around in the first few
True.
episodes,
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe
true.
he's just still walking around. I guess we'll find out.
So in the
sorry, Ben.
present, the adventure team, that was I really enjoyed that. I like Locke kind of, strutting around doing his thing, even though he's kind of a dick and not asking people's permission. He's making decisions, and it's resulting in damn fine entertainment. So
Yeah, cerebral hemorrhages are fun.
yeah, and
Blood squirting out of the head.
and then finally, after all of this trials and tribulations, they show up and they find Jack playing football with the others, obviously enjoying himself, or at least pretending to do so. Kind of leaves everyone in sort of a final sort of what the fuck moment, which is generally the best episodes of Lost are the ones that leave you with that what the fuck moment. So
They're
yeah, I thought it
so
was
good at the what the fuck endings,
Yes.
aren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah,
not
they're
my
so
not
good.
my favorite episode of the season so far, but really really good.
Same, not my favorite. That's definitely flashes before your eyes, I think. And that theme continues for me as the show goes on. The Desmond episodes are mind-blowing. But I loved this episode, and it did a lot for the plot. Like, Jack and Claire are siblings. What the fuck? Charlie didn't cheat death when he, got in the van. He's still at risk. Uh-oh, not good. The others have sonic weapons. What the fuck? Jack's tossing the ball with Tom Friendly. What the fuck? Super exciting episode. Definitely not the best of the season, but a high point. Just the same. Christy, what do you think?
For me, it was kind of a meh episode.
Wild. All right.
I love the big reveal about, Claire being Christian's daughter and Jack's sister.
Mhm.
And I love that Jack seems to be an other right now. So the plot definitely moved forward with this, but I don't know. It just didn't really do too much for me.
Huh. All right. Well, you're allowed to be wrong. That's fine.
Yeah.
And as a little side note, I was curious. Par avion means airmail.
Ah, okay.
Like with the birds.
Yes.
Airmail.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go. All right. Derek, what'd you think of episode 12 of season 3? And did it leave you with any lasting questions?
I thought it was a really good episode. I liked it, especially the reveal, that Christian is Claire's father. And actually explains what happened whenever he was with Anna Lucia and went to that house and got in a fight with that woman. That was bitchy Aunt Lindsay. So.
No, I think that was the mother.
the
That was
mother.
Carol.
Oh, it was the mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still explains what he was doing.
What he was doing. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's probably one of my questions. But anyways,
It
I
definitely
liked it.
was. During that episode, your question was who is his daughter? So,
Right.
yeah. Right.
And then I liked Locked in this episode. He's, back on my good list after blowing up the flame. And yeah, the plot moved along. So I like that. And the biggest question is, why the fuck is Jack playing football with Tom Friendly?
Of course. Of course, that has to be the question. It is one that will be quickly answered. But guess what, guys? Guess what is happening next week? If we thought this week had a big reveal and a surprise ending, woo boy, wait till next week.
Yeah.
When we find out how Locke got into his wheelchair and what's inside Ben's magic box. I'm so excited.
Ben, what's in your box?
This is the episode I claimed right off the bat. As soon as this podcast was a go, I was taking the man from Tallahassee, and we're going to do it next week. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Lost in My 40s is a Space Bear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacy J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook to interact with your hosts. Plus, follow Space Bear Media on YouTube to watch our episode pre-shows. You can also find us at SpaceBear_media on Instagram and Twitter. Or come to our website, spacebearmedia.com.